Yo, this story is straight up crazy. Imagine you're 20 years old. Your music is blowing up on TikTok. You're touring across the US. Brands are throwing deals your way, and fans are calling you the next big star. Life couldn't be better, right? Now picture this. Out of nowhere, your name is trending worldwide, not because of your music, but because a body was just found in a Tesla registered to you. Days later, FBI agents roll up to your Hollywood Hills mansion with search warrants, neighbors watching as boxes of evidence get carried out, and suddenly, everyone online is calling you guilty before investigators even finish their first press conference. That's exactly what's happening with David right now. And trust me, this case has everything: missing person mystery, FBI raids, wild social media theories, canceled tours, even music videos being picked apart like crime scene footage. Today, we're breaking down every detail. The shocking Tesla discovery, what went down inside that Hollywood Hills raid, what police are actually saying versus what the internet is inventing, and most importantly, what happens next. And let me warn you, the twists in this case feel like something ripped out of a Netflix true crime documentary. So grab your popcorn because this is about to get insane. Before we dive into the madness, let's rewind. Who exactly is David, and why is this story such a bombshell? D4vd, real name David Anthony Burke, blew up back in 2022 with a track called Here With Me. That song went viral on TikTok, pulling in millions of streams, and basically launched him from recording in his sister's closet to signing a major label deal. He's known for that raw, emotional sound, kind of a fusion of indie, R&B, and alternative. You can hear influences from Frank Ocean to The Weeknd, but with his own vibe. By 2024, he was headlining tours, doing collabs with fashion brands like Crocs and Hollister, and racking up hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify. Fans loved him because he felt authentic. A kid from Houston making music with nothing but a mic in his closet, then suddenly standing on festival stages in front of thousands. He had that underdog story everyone roots for. But now, instead of headlines about his music, every article is about this investigation. And it's completely flipped his career trajectory on its head. Okay, so let's get into what kicked this all off. On September 8th, 2025, workers at an impound lot in Los Angeles noticed a foul smell coming from a Tesla. This wasn't just any car. It had been towed there days earlier after being abandoned on the street for about 3 weeks. When investigators popped open the front trunk of the car, they discovered a body wrapped in a bag. That body was later identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, a teenager who had been missing since April 2024. Think about that for a second. A missing person for over a year, suddenly found in a car tied to one of the biggest rising artists in music. The moment that detail came out, the Tesla being registered to David, the internet basically lost its mind. Headlines everywhere. Body found in car linked to David. Even though no charges were filed, the connection was enough to put him under a massive spotlight. Now here's the part people miss. The Tesla had reportedly been abandoned for weeks. That means whoever placed the body in there could have done it long after David was using the car. But still, perception is reality online, and the connection alone was enough to spark chaos. To really understand the shock factor, we gotta talk about Celeste. Celeste Rivas was just 15 years old. Reports say she was last seen in April 2024, and her disappearance left her family desperate for answers. Some outlets claim she ran away multiple times before, sometimes staying with older friends. Her mom even mentioned she might have had a boyfriend named David, which is where online sleuths started tying things together. Her body being found more than a year later, in that Tesla, reignited all the questions. Who was she with? What happened in that missing year? How did she end up in that car? And here's the kicker. Investigators haven't released her cause of death yet. The coroner deferred it, meaning they're waiting on more tests, like toxicology. With the body decomposed, it's harder to pin down whether this was homicide, overdose, or something else. Until that report comes out, everything is speculation. After the Tesla discovery, investigators weren't wasting time. Days later, the FBI and LAPD rolled up to a Hollywood Hills mansion linked to David. This was no small operation. Agents showed up with a search warrant, went inside, and started pulling out boxes. Neighbors saw evidence bags, computers, hard drives, phones, basically anything that could hold digital trails. The property itself was leased by David's manager, but David was staying there. Reports said the place was worth around $3.6 million with sweeping views of LA. What were they looking for? Sources claim they were specifically searching for items connected to Celeste's disappearance, including potential blood evidence. Though, let's be real, media sometimes exaggerates. Until investigators confirm, we don't actually know if anything like that was found. But here's a telling detail. Not long after the raid, movers showed up. They were photographed hauling out massive boxes, furniture, the works, and the lease broken. Just like that, the Hollywood Hills spot was cleared out. Now here's where things really went viral. TikTok detectives and Reddit sleuths went into overdrive. People started combing through David's music videos like they were FBI agents themselves. One video, One More Dance, shows him dragging a body bag and putting it into a car trunk. Instantly, people lined that up with the Tesla discovery and said, see, he basically predicted it. Then came the supposed unreleased songs. Clips circulated online where he used names like Celeste or talked about dark, violent imagery. Some fans swore these were confessions hidden in his art. And then the tattoos. David has a shh tattoo on his index finger. Guess who else supposedly had this same tattoo? Celeste. Cue another wave of gotcha posts. Now look, let's pause. Music videos are art. Lyrics are art. Tattoos, tons of people share similar designs. But in the world of TikTok, two dots connected equals a solved case. That's why the narrative blew up so quickly online, because people love playing detective, even if the evidence is flimsy. All right, so what's fact and what's internet fantasy? Fact: Celeste's body was found in a Tesla registered to David. Fact: the Tesla was abandoned and towed before the discovery. Fact: FBI agents searched his Hollywood Hills home and seized electronics. Fact: the coroner has not released a cause of death. Fact: as of now, no one has been arrested or charged. Speculation: that his music videos and lyrics are direct confessions. Speculation: that he and Celeste were dating. Speculation: that the tattoo proves a secret connection. Speculation: that the raid found incriminating blood evidence. This is key because YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, everyone blurs the line between fact and theory. And when you're dealing with a celebrity, theories spread 10 times faster than official updates. Even without charges, the fallout for David has been brutal. First, his tour dates. The rest of his US shows, canceled. Europe and the UK, canceled. Basically, his live career is on pause. Then the brand deals. Companies like Crocs and Hollister that had partnered with him started pulling back campaigns. Brands don't want their name tied to controversy, especially one involving a minor. But here's the irony. His music streams spiked. People who had never heard of him started streaming out of curiosity. It's that whole morbid curiosity effect. The scandal makes people check you out, even if it's for the wrong reasons. Still, his reputation has completely shifted. Overnight, he went from rising star to being known as the guy tied to the Tesla case. Public reaction is divided. On one hand, you've got people absolutely convinced he's guilty. They point to the videos, the tattoos, the supposed relationship, and say, case closed. On the other hand, you've got people saying, wait, slow down. There's no charges, no proof. This is just trial by TikTok. It's the clash between the court of public opinion and actual due process. And it's wild to watch because both sides are loud, emotional, and convinced they're right. Podcasters, YouTubers, influencers, everyone's weighing in, which just keeps fueling the hype. And that hype can be dangerous, because once the internet decides on a narrative, it's hard to shake it, even if investigators later prove otherwise. So what are investigators actually focused on? Number 1, forensic evidence from the Tesla. DNA swabs, fingerprints, timestamp data from the car's computer. Teslas track everything: locations, times, even whether doors were opened or closed. Number 2, the electronics seized in the raid. They'll comb through messages, DMs, emails, cloud backups, looking for any link between Celeste and David. Number 3, autopsy and toxicology. The coroner's findings will be huge in establishing if this was foul play or something else. Number 4, surveillance and witnesses. Cameras near the mansion, traffic cams where the Tesla was abandoned, anyone who might have seen Celeste after she disappeared. All of that takes time. And until they have results, investigators won't name suspects publicly. That's why this case feels stuck in limbo right now. So what's next? First, the coroner's report. That'll give us a cause and approximate time of death. Second, potential press conferences from LAPD or FBI, if they decide to name a suspect. Third, media leaks. You know they'll happen. At some point, outlets are going to report on what was found in those seized devices, even if it's unofficial. And fourth, David himself. Does he make a public statement? Drop a post? Try to defend himself? So far, he's been quiet, probably on the advice of lawyers. But at some point, silence becomes its own headline. This case is insane. You've got a missing teenager, a body found in a Tesla, an FBI raid on a rising star's mansion, and an internet that thinks it already knows the truth. But here's the bottom line. Right now, nobody's been charged. Nobody's been arrested. Theories are just that, theories. Until the autopsy is in and investigators release evidence, this case is wide open. So is David guilty of something? Or is this one massive coincidence that just happens to look really, really bad? Either way, this story is far from over. And trust me, the next update could completely flip everything we think we know. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.